Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Madden series or the fantasy football series, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm coming at you exactly 3 hours before the Super Bowl kickoff is set to begin. Today we're going to be taking a look at a smaller game that doesn't have too much impact on it. It does have a few players from a few teams, don't get me wrong. We wouldn't really be doing a full video on it otherwise. But it does have a few players that might impact things, but overall it's the fucking Cardinals and the Commanders, two of the worst teams in the league in both real life, fantasy football, everything you name it. And on top of that, as if these two teams weren't shit enough, you're going to have the Commanders who are going to be out Chase Young, and you're going to have the Cardinals who are out Kyler Murray, their starting quarterback, and they're going to be out backup right tackle Kelvin Beachum, who overall is a solid player. He used to be their starter, and he is a 76 overall in Madden, so I figured he would be worth mentioning. Other than that, there aren't any big names that are out besides those three, but those are three pretty decent-sized names. With that being said, let's talk about the players involved in this game. Nobody owns either team's quarterback. You have James Conner, owned by Pussy, Antonio Gibson, owned by Big Yawners, and Brian Robinson, owned by Scrambled and Wiggle Waggled. In terms of the receivers, you only have two here. You have Terry McLaurin, owned by Karen's husband, and you have Rondale Moore, owned by Toxic Zenpai. I was kind of shocked to see that Marquise Brown, Jahan Dotson, and Curtis Samuel, none of the three were started at this point, but Rondale Moore was. That was kind of a shocker, but either way. Then in terms of the defense, you had Dictatorship, who started Washington's defense. In terms of the defensive line, you had Daron Payne, the defensive tackle for Washington, playing for Scrambled. In terms of the DBs, you had Buda Baker representing my team. Cameron Curl is playing for Toxic Zenpai. And then I don't even think he's on the roster at this point. But you had Sean Chandler, who was started for J-Bay. But at this point, he was inactive in both real life and on the team, so I don't think it's going to really matter. I just figured I'd mention that because he's going to be taking up a slot on J-Bay's team for pretty much the rest of the season, not doing anything. And then in terms of the linebackers, you have Cody Barton representing MILF, and you have Jamin Davis representing Toxic Zenpai. That's about it. Without further ado, let's get right on into the actual game side of things here, as always. But yeah, like I said, this is probably going to be a shit show of a game. This isn't a game where you have both teams absolutely riddled with talented spots, even if they struggle in certain areas or anything like that. You just have two shit teams here. Neither team have... Well, the Commanders have a couple good players, like say your Jonathan Allen, for example, and a few players on that defense, and then guys like Terry McLaurin, for example. But the Cardinals really just do not have shit. Even guys that get a lot of touchdowns in real life, like say James Conner at like a 78 overall or something like that in Madden, and they just really are not good, to say the absolute least. It's just going to be a shit show. You're going to have Sam Howell against Josh Dobbs. Madden doesn't really compensate for their overalls in real life. They kind of do. They gave them a buff compared to how bad they were before. But even then, they're both horrible. I'm not expecting this to be a very high-scoring game in the slightest, to say the least. This is probably going to be a shit show, like I said. Let's just see how it goes. It's not going to be nearly as impactful as most of the other games we've covered so far, but it does still have a nice sprinkle of players in, so it should be interesting to say the least either way. You have the Cardinals who are going to be returning this from the right side. Now we're going to cut in towards the middle. This is going to be, I think that's Greg Dortch doing the kick return. Getting back to the 24-yard line, not quite to the 25. Not the worst kick return I've ever seen, but definitely not great. And here comes Josh Dobbs, the mixed Mr. Clean himself. That is my proudest nickname I've come up with this season, is Mixed Mr. Clean. I love Josh Dobbs. Not at all. I just like making fun of him. But either way, here we go. Let's see what the Cardinals do. They line up in the shotgun formation, 1st and 10 at their own 24. Josh Dobbs is going to look for a pass. This is going to be to the right. That's going to be caught, or no, broken up. Almost caught by Zach Ertz. That looks like it's going to be broken up by Cameron Curl. I believe that, no, it's actually, I forget how to pronounce his name, but it's something Martin. I thought it was Cameron Curl at first, but it wasn't, in fact, Cameron Curl. Looks like the Cardinals on 2nd and 10 are going to give it to James Conner to the left. He's going to get a nice pickup. He's going to fight for about 7 yards right there on the play, brought down by, I think that was Jamin Davis, but I didn't get the exact number on it. It was Derek Forrest, the safety outside of Cameron Curl. 3rd and 3. Let's see if these Cardinals can pick up the first down. Overall, Josh Dobbs hasn't played poorly so far. Let's see what he does here. I stand corrected. That was the worst throw I've seen since Kenny Pickett last night. That was a horrible throw, and it looks like Zach Pascal's trying to get into it with a Commanders defender, and the Cardinals are going to be forced to punt here at their own 30-yard line. The punt's going to go out from about the 19-yard line, about the 19 and a half. It's going to land at the Commanders 19. That's pretty much field to field. He's going to return it for a couple yards, get to a 25-yard line. Overall, pretty solid return. Not too many 5+ yards returns when it comes to the punt return. But that is going to be Antonio Gibson on the return, and that's going to be credited towards Big Yawners. So just a few little brownie points if you're Big Yawners. Here comes Sam Howell, who at this point was owned by J-Bay in the season, but J-Bay spent the entire season with Sam Howell on his bench, so it's not really going to matter as the series goes on. You have Terry McLaurin owned by Karen's husband, Brian Robinson owned by Scrambled and Wiggle Waggled, and you have Antonio Gibson owned by Big Yawners. And this is going to be a really nice pickup for Brian Robinson off to the right. He's going to get a shit ton of yards. He's going to get past Buda Baker. He's going to finally be brought down by a mix of Cardinals, including Jalen Thompson after a pickup of 30. A very, very nice pickup for Brian Robinson, owned by Scrambled and Wiggle Waggled. That's the start you're looking to see if you're Scrambled. Definitely going to help you with those 3 points right there. You were hoping for that extra 10 yards to get that bonus, but overall, very, very good run to kick off the game. Something I didn't really think you'd see much of this game is big pickups like that. Let's see what the Commanders do here. 1st and 10 at the Cardinals' 44-yard line. This is going to be another handoff, this time to the left to Brian Robinson. He's going to pick up a few, not too many. He's only going to get credited a yard, give or take. Definitely could be better on that one, but overall, not every play is going to be a big hitter. Let's see what they do on 2nd and 9. Brian Robinson remains out there on the field. This is going to be a pitch to Brian Robinson to the left. A good block by Logan Thomas. A second good block by Charles Leno. He's going to pick up a good 8 yards on the play. That's a pretty solid run here. The Commanders are just looking to pound this rock down their throats. Evan, that's not for you to enjoy if you're watching this. 3rd and 1. Let's see what these Commanders end up doing right here at the Cardinals' 35-yard line. This is going to be another handoff to Brian Robinson, who's going to be absolutely stuffed by number 7. I think that's Dennis Gardeck, if I'm not mistaken. The outside linebacker. No, it's Kaiser White. It's Kaiser White. I forgot Kaiser White is 7 in Madden, or in real life. He changed his number from what he used to be before, but that is a very nice stuff. Kaiser White will become a bigger player as the season goes on for this series, but for now, nobody started him because nobody realized how good he would be. Not yet at this point in the season anyway. But later he'll become a bigger factor. Here comes Sam Howell looking for the pass. He's rolling out to the right. He's going to get hit on the throw. This is going to be batted up, an incomplete target intended for Terry McLaurin. And it looks like Josh Dobbs is going to enter the field with pretty good field position at their own 36-yard line. Overall, a very promising drive for the Commanders, just ends up getting nowhere. Let's see what these Cardinals end up doing here. Their first drive was a very quick 3-and-out. Let's see what they do here. Something to watch with these Commanders is those defensive tackles. Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne just able to slice through the Cardinals' O-line like it's nothing. You have James Conner, who is able to fight for a couple yards regardless of the fact that the whole O-line collapsed in 1 second. Let's see what they do here. 2nd and 8 at their own 38-yard line. Really nothing they're doing is working very well so far. They're looking for a pass here. Let's see what Josh Dobbs can do here. He's going to step up into the pocket. He's going to take the scramble. He's going to run to the right. He's going to go back towards the middle. He's going to dive down for a pickup of about 6. Looks like Madden's going to credit him as 7th yard, although I don't think that's a very good marking. I think the refs are kind of blind on that one, but they'll give him the extra yard, though. 3rd and 2 at their own 44-yard line. Josh Dobbs looking for a pass. He's going to back up. He has a lot of pressure around him. Not really, the O-line's actually looking pretty solid in this play, and he's just going to throw it at the floor. Josh Dobbs does not want to win this football game, I don't think. This is not the Josh Dobbs you ended up seeing in real life. Now, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just the first few bad drives. I couldn't tell you. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. Cardinals are going to be looking for a punt. This is going to be going out from their 33 to 34-yard line. It's going to land at the Commanders' about 4-yard line. It's going to bounce into the end zone. Unfortunate, what's the word for it? Bounce right there, because that could have been a very, very good punt to back the Commanders into their own 5-yard line, but unfortunately, it's just not going to happen. You're going to have Sam Howell coming out 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They had some very good success running, but they got stuffed whenever it got into the trenches, to say the least, on 3rd and short and 4th and short. Let's see what the Commanders do here. They're looking for a pass. Sam Howell's going to roll out to the left. He has pressure from Dennis Gardeck. He's going to get the ball away, but he's not going to get sacked. 2nd and 10. Sam Howell has not completed a pass this game. I don't think either team has completed a pass this game. This has been an absolute shit show. so far, to say the least, although the Commanders have found at least some success with their run game, so maybe that's the key to winning this game. If the Cardinals can't score, just keep pounding it down their throats until they can do something. It's going to be a run to the left. Antonio Gibson's not going to get very far, though. He's only going to pick up one, and he's going to be shut down by Kaiser White. 3rd and 9 at their own 21-yard line. This is going to be a tough first down to pick up, but let's see what Sam Howell can do. This is where he has to prove himself. Let's see what he can do. He's looking for a pass. He's looking down the middle. He's going to throw it towards the right side seam. He's going to hit, I think that's Jahan Dotson for a nice pickup right there. Pickup of 26. That's actually Curtis Samuel, not Jahan Dotson right there. Very, very nice pickup for these Commanders. 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line. This is close to where they got last time before their drive came to a sudden halt. Just about 10 yards away. They're looking for a pass on 1st and 10. This is going to be thrown off the forehead of fucking... I don't even know who that is off the top of my head. I couldn't get a glance at the number. A lot of the times it switches camera angles too quick, so I can't see the exact number. I want to say it was 94, but I could be mistaken. Commander's going to look for a handoff to Brian Robinson, this time to the left. And Kaiser White is on it. He is going to get a tackle for loss here on Brian Robinson for a loss of 1. After that first run play, Kaiser White's been taking these run plays personally, and now he's doing everything in his power to shut that shit down. He's done very well so far in this game. 3rd and 11, the Commander's going to look for a pass. Sam Howell's going to step up into the pocket. He's going to check this one down to, I think that's Brian Robinson, who's going to fight forward for an extra couple yards. He's still fighting. He's not going to get the first down, but he is going to get a very nice pickup of about 9 on the play. So overall, if you're scrambled and wiggle-waggled, you're really liking the effort seen by Brian Robinson, the one bright star on an otherwise shit team so far. Looks like the Commanders are going to go for the punt here. They're not going to go for it again. They're going to learn from their mistake. They're going to take the punt at their own 40 or at the Cardinals' 45-yard line. This punt's going to go almost, it looks like immediately out of bounds. That was a terrible punt, going only like 20 yards. One of the worst punts I've seen in a while since probably high school games. 45 seconds remain in the first quarter. The Cardinals come out, and this is still a shit show, to say the absolute least. Cardinals have James Conner in the backfield. They have trips left. Let's see what they end up doing. They're going to hand it off to James Conner. He's going to cut up the middle, get past Jonathan Allen, but he's going to be brought down by a mix of Commanders from there. But overall, a solid pickup of 4. Can't complain with a 4-yard pickup right there. Cody Barton of MILF is going to get the tackle, it looks like. 2nd and 6. 18 seconds on the clock and ticking in the first quarter. Cardinals are going to look for a pass here. He's going to roll out to the left. He is getting pressured by multiple Commanders. He's going to get... that's almost picked off or fumbled, but he's very lucky to get that credited as an incompletion. And the Commanders get a nice hit with a shit ton of pressure on him. There were so many Commanders there in his face. It was looking like some sort of porn star orgy. It was looking horrible. Let's see what ends up happening here. 3rd and 6. Cardinals are looking for a pass. Got Josh Dobbs looking down the middle. That's going to be caught. I think that's Rondale Moore, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's Rondale Moore after a pickup of 24 on the play for Toxic Zenpai. A very, very nice pickup right there. And that's going to move the chains. This is going to take us into the second quarter. Let me skip this cutscene, of course, as always. Got the very kickoff to the second quarter here happening. Let's see what these Cardinals can cook up here. They're finally in enemy territory. This is going to be a handoff to the right, now up to the middle for James Conner, who's probably going to get credited about a yard, no more than that. Brought down by a mix of Cody Barton and a few other Commanders. The tackle will look like it does look like it's going to get credited toward Cody Barton. 2nd and 9. Cardinals are 5-5 on their runs and passes, so at least they're staying unpredictable. Cardinals are going to look for a pass here, and that's going to be broken up, almost picked off by Cody Barton. Now maybe Milf will get credited a pass deflect point there, but I can't say for sure just because Madden is very iffy on it. 3rd and 9 from the Commanders' 42. Cardinals looking for another pass. Josh Dobbs is now looking down the middle. He's now rolling out to the left, and he's going to be brought down for a sack by Montez Sweat. He's going to end up being a bigger player for Pussy later on in the season, but for now, nobody really started him or anything like that. But that is a nice sack. If you're a Catership, you're pretty happy to see that one. Montez Sweat had an absolute blow-up season this year, not just for the Commanders, but ended up going to the Bears and doing the same thing pretty late in the season. Cardinals are going to go for a punt here from their own 37-yard line. It's going to land at about the Commanders' 29, and these punters just really can't figure anything out either. The punt game's been horrific. The run game's been horrific for the Cardinals. The passing game's been horrific for both. You have the D-line of Washington and their run game that's been looking promising. Outside of that, everything's just kind of been a shit show so far. Even the run game hasn't been great since that first initial big run. Commanders going to look for a pass on 1st and 10 at their own 29. This is going to be pass to the right. It's going to be broken up. It was intended for Jahan Dotson, but broken up by a mix of Cardinals there. Throwing a very, very tight into traffic. Almost lucky it didn't get picked off. 1st and 10 or 2nd and 10 at their own 29-yard line. They're going to look for a pass. I think no, they're going to give it to Brian Robinson, even though they have the extra blitz man, which is going to lose them 4 yards. Madden's weird like that. Sometimes you can see what a team looks like they would want to do, and they still decide to do the thing that's stupid, which in that situation was running. You could see the extra blitz coming, but either way, they ran right into him and lose 4 yards right there on the play. 3rd and 14. The Commanders have a very, very tough situation here. Sam Howell's rolling out to the left, and he's going to get brought down by like 18 Cardinals. Oh my God, that looked aggressive as shit. Kaiser White part of that. Kaiser White having himself a monster game. He keeps playing like this, he might end up earning Defensive Player of the Week. Absolutely phenomenal game so far by Kaiser White. The Commanders looking for a punt from their own 15-yard line. The punt's probably going to go out at around their own 4. This is going to land at the Cardinals' 38-yard line. It looks like he's just going to call the fair catch there at the 39. Here comes Josh Dobbs. The score is still 0-0. Definitely not a great game for fantasy players, to say the least. Like I said, I didn't think this was going to be too impactful. Maybe this game ends up being 0-0 the whole game and they go to overtime and get some bonus points. Just barely avoiding the sack is Josh Dobbs. I think that was Montez Sweat getting in his face again. 1 for 7 is insane. Absolutely horrible, horrible performance out of these quarterbacks. Let's see what they end up doing here. 2nd and 10 at their own 39-yard line here, because they did have the Commanders backed up pretty far into their own field range. But let's see, Josh Dobbs is going to look for a pass to the left. That's going to be hauled in by James Conner. He's going to fight forward for an extra yard, but that's going to be it right there after a pickup of 4. Overall, this has just been, I keep saying it, but overall, just a terrible game so far. I'm just waiting for something interesting to happen. 3rd and 6 in this absolute snooze fest. Josh Dobbs is going to look for a pass here. He's going to step up into the pocket. He's going to be brought down again by Montez Sweat. His 3rd time getting the pressure on, 2nd time getting a sack. Montez Sweat might end up being a huge player later on in the season. And if you're a dictatorship, you're pretty much the only one who's looking at this game and you're happy. No points allowed so far, 2 sacks. I think they have a few tackles for loss, at least 1 anyway. Things are looking pretty good if you're a dictatorship. Everybody else is probably pretty deep in the red at this point. Commander's going to be taking a return. They're going to go from the left to the right. They're going to go coast to coast, it looks like. He's going to get an okay return, get a couple extra yards on it, but that's about it. Here comes Sam Howell, 3:37 left in the 2nd quarter. Not that it matters. These two teams, just time doesn't matter. Neither team can score. They both just are fucking terrible. Commander's looking for a pass. Sam Howell's looking to the right. He's now rolling out to the left. He's going to have nowhere to go. He's going to get the ball off just in the nick of time to get away from the sack. Wow, this is just a terrible game. I'm just waiting for anything to happen. I'm waiting for a fan to streak the field or something, because, yeah, this is just a shit show. You got Sam Howell on 2nd and 10 at their own 22-yard line, going to give the handoff to Brian Robinson. He's going to go from the right. He's going to cut towards the middle before being brought down by a mix of Cardinals, getting absolutely nowhere again. Just remember, in those 7 rushes, he has 33 yards, right? His first rush of the game was for 30. Meaning his other 6 rushes were for a combined total of 3 yards. Horrible, horrible just game around the board. Even the run game isn't looking good anymore. Sam Howell's now looking to the right for a pass, and he's just going to miss his receiver. I think he was intending that one for Curtis Samuel, but incomplete. These quarterbacks have been shit. Everything has been shit so far. And that's the thing, is I can't even necessarily credit the defense for being good. It's just that the offenses have been horrible. Well, the D-line of the Commanders has been pretty good. That's the one good part of this game so far, is that defensive line, particularly Montez Sweat. Commanders going to punt this one off. Cardinals are going to catch it at their own about 29-yard line. Let's see what ends up happening here. Josh Dobbs. Let's see if Mix Mr. Clean can do literally anything. Spoiler alert, it's probably not going to happen. But we will see. Somebody got to win this game, right? Not necessarily. It could be 0-0 and finish in overtime, but you never know. 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line. Cardinals are looking for a pass. This one's intended to the right, and it's just going to go to the fucking floor. Mix Mr. Clean is cleaning up the floors right now. I guess that's what he's doing. Like, even the Commanders are just confused right now. Nobody can even get a tackle. Jamin Davis is like, what the fuck? I'm trying to score fantasy points for my guy, and you just can't because there's no plays. This is going to be a handoff to the right for James Conner. He's going to get a respectable pickup of about 7, but that's about the first good play we've seen from the Cardinals yet this game. 3rd and 3 at their own 36-yard line. Let's see what the Cardinals end up deciding to do here. The offense has been horrible. They should have Zach Ertz wide open, but I kind of doubt they're going to see it. They're going to throw it towards the left. This is going to be caught. Absolutely body slammed by, I think that was Cody Barton on the play. And that's going to be caught by Marquise Brown, who at this point was benched by Dictatorship, and for good reason, because at this point in the season, nobody knew how the Cardinals' offense was going to be, how good or bad it was going to be. And without Kyler Murray, people just didn't really trust him too much. To be fair, Marquise Brown did have a pretty solid season, even with Josh Dobbs, but still, nonetheless, in Madden, it's not looking great for anybody on this Cardinals offense, at least until Kyler Murray comes back, and even then it might not be great. But either way, 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line. Cardinals are going to look for a pass. They're going to look for a screen to James Conner. He's going to pull it in. He's going to fight forward for a few extra yards. He's going to maybe pick up the first down, actually. No, he's just going to get a few inches off of it. But overall, very nice play for James Conner of Pussy right there. Another player that's not necessarily doing horrible or anything like that. Not yet, anyway. 2nd and inches. Let's see what these Cardinals end up doing. They're looking for a pass. He's looking down the middle. That's going to be caught. Or it's going to be broken up last second. 3rd and inches from their own 48-yard line. Maybe they can fight forward and get into field goal range. Let's see what the Cardinals end up doing here. We got Josh Dobbs lining up in the shotgun on a 3rd and inches. Makes sense. I'd do the same thing. It's like both teams want to lose, but this is going to be caught by, I think that's actually Trey McBride, not Zach Ertz. I could be mistaken. For a pickup for the first down, about 10 yards. It's actually Zach Ertz, or it was actually 5 yards, but I thought that was Trey McBride, but it's actually Zach Ertz. It's going to be a deep pass to the left. That's actually a really nice pass by Josh Dobbs right there on the play. It's probably first actually good pass of the game. Maybe the Cardinals can actually win this game. Maybe. Let's see here. Dictatorship is starting to lose happiness on his team defense here, starting to get diced up by Zach Pascal, the former Colt, for a pickup of 24. 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line. Let's see what the Cardinals end up doing here. Cardinals are going to look for a pass. He's looking down the middle. He's now looking to the right for a screen back to James Conner, owned by Pussy or Tack Arthur 104. It looks like Cody Barton is going to miss the tackle. He's going to be brought down by number 29. I think that's the rookie corner, Emmanuel Forbes, for the Commanders. 1st-round pick ended up being a major bust in real life. 2nd and 5. Cardinals are going to look for a pass. He's looking down the middle. He has James Conner on the left, but he's going to roll out right into a 3rd sack by Montez Sweat. Monster performance out of Montez Sweat, to say the absolute least. Dictatorship is happy, even though the Commanders might give up a few points here. At least they're going to get a sack on the way out. 3rd and 12. Josh Dobbs in the shotgun. They're not calling a timeout or anything, so it looks like they're just trying to milk some of this clock, knowing the Commanders aren't going to be able to score with it. Looks like they're going to take one more shot, maybe 2 if they hurry. Josh Dobbs is going to take a scramble off to the left. It looks like maybe he's just going to go to the line of scrimmage. He's going to just throw this one away. 4th and 12. Cardinals are just going to settle for the field goal, it looks like. And then this game's probably going to go into halftime just because of the fact that, well, the Commanders' offense just can't do shit. And even if it was Patrick Mahomes out there, they probably weren't going to be able to do much with 13 seconds. Matt Prater on to attempt the field goal. This one from about the 27-yard line. This is going to be up. It is good. About 10 seconds remain in the first half. You might see a kneel down from the Commanders, maybe a run to earn someone some brownie points, but that's going to be about it. You're not going to see much here. Off to kick the ball off. Let's see where it ends up going. It's going towards the, looks like the middle of the field. It's going to be directly in the middle of the field. They're going to try returning it. This is going to be returned by Antonio Gibson of Big Yawners back to about the 23-yard line. Take some time off the clock, so it looks like the Commanders are going to take the kneel down, but it does earn Big Yawners a few return yards to say the least, so it's something. Few Browning points, like I said. Not much, though. Not really any big impact on this game so far. And at the end of the first quarter, this has been an absolute shootout game. The score currently is like 93-67 so far. But, yeah, no, it's just been a fucking terrible game around the board. I'm pretty sure half these players are ready to take a nap. They're definitely disappointing as the Super Bowl exhibition, if any of you are watching this right before the Super Bowl, depending on when I get this out. It probably won't be out until much later, if I'm being honest, though, but I'll see what I can do. If it is out right before the Super Bowl, that was what I was initially going for, but it might take me longer than I'm expecting, and I might end up not releasing it until the Super Bowl's over. Hell, I might release it during the Super Bowl. We'll see. Because these videos, especially these Madden ones that are about an hour long, take a long time to upload, even if there isn't much editing to do. Like an upload for an hour-long video will usually take at least a half hour, even with good internet. Sam Howell's looking for a pass to the right. That one's going to be brought in. He's going to be brought down by a mix of Buda Baker and another Cardinal on the play. It looks like Jalen Thompson, both safeties, getting involved on the tackle. But that is a nice pickup for the Commanders there. This is going to be 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Let's see what the Commanders do here after a nice kickoff to the second half. Let's see if the Commanders can do anything good here. Looking for a pass. He's now rolling out to the left. He has the blitz coming in. There's going to be Kaiser White for another huge play on the game. Another sack. Kaiser White and Montez Sweat are pretty much being their entire teams at this point, similar to T.J. Watt last night. It was John Bates who made that initial catch 2 plays ago, but since then, that's just been a horrible choke job by Sam Howell not reading the blitz. It looks like Kaiser White's putting the pressure on again, but Sam Howell's going to get this one off. It's going to be caught by John Bates, who's going to keep fighting for a few extra yards, brought down by Buda Baker of my own team after a nice pickup of 14. It's going to be 3rd and 5 at their own 40-yard line. Let's see what they can do here. It's not necessarily the hardest first down to pick up, but it's not going to be easy either, especially with how poor this offense has been. Sam Howell's going to look for a pass. He's rolling out towards the left side. Is he going to take the scramble? Looks like he's going to take the scramble. He's going to get the first down and quite a few yards more. He's going to juke for an extra few yards, and then he's just going to fall on the floor. That is a funny animation. I don't remember seeing this on Xbox versions of Madden. Maybe it's just because I'm on the PC version right now. But on Xbox, I almost never see quarterbacks like fall over forward like that. They always slide, or they just take the tackle. It's going to be a read option to the left, but he's going to get absolutely ambushed for a 4-yard loss here. So since that 30-yard pickup at the beginning of the game, Brian Robinson has now gone 7 rushing attempts for -1 yard. Horrible performance. This is almost as bad as when I saw Saquon Barkley when I was playing against Pussy in one of the fantasy games. Actually, I don't think I was playing against Pussy. I think I was playing against someone else. This is going to be a handoff to the left for a respectable pickup of 7 right there. Finally, a positive play for this run game that hasn't been there at all since the beginning of the game. You have 3rd and 7 here at the Cardinals' 45-yard line. Not quite in field goal range yet, so you do need this first down if you are the Commanders. This is going to be a play-action pass. He's going to roll out to the right. He's going to take off for the scramble. He's going to put on the Jets again. He's going to get the first down, I think. I think Madden will credit him. Yep, they'll credit Sam Howell the 1st and 10. Let's see what ends up happening here. 1st and 10 at the Cardinals' 37-yard line. You do have Brian Robinson in the backfield yet again. Let's see what the Commanders end up choosing to do. They give it to Brian Robinson, who's going to get a nice pickup on the left side. He's going to fight forward for about a pickup of, I want to say, 8. A very nice run right there for Brian Robinson, starting to pick things up a little bit in that run game. And the Commanders are absolutely juicing the clock, too. They've taken out about 4 minutes of the clock so far. Let's see what they end up doing here. Sam Howell looking for a pass. This one intended to the left for John Bates. That's going to be caught. No, that's actually Logan Thomas, who's going to catch that one for a nice pickup and the first down. Nobody started Logan Thomas at this point in the season either. 1st and 10 from their 24-yard line, from the Cardinals' 24-yard line. That's going to be a pass intended to the right, almost picked off, intended for Jahan Dotson. It looks like the Cardinals are really prioritizing shutting down Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin in this game. Neither player have really done anything. Trips on the right side. They have, I think that's Brian Robinson on his left so far for Sam Howell. Looking for a pass to Brian Robinson. That's going to be broken up, and he's going to take a hit for no reason. 3rd and 10 At least they're in field goal range. He was hit pretty hard by Kayvon Wallace. Brian Robinson hasn't taken a hit like that since he got shot, but we'll see what happens here. 3rd and 10. Commanders need the first down here, or else they're going to have to take the field goal. Looks like Sam Howell's looking for the pass. He's going to roll out to the left. This one's going to be passed to the left. This one's going to be caught, but not enough for the first down, though. That one was caught by, I can't even tell. I did not ever see a number there. I think it was Brian Robinson, so I think Scrambled Wiggle is going to get credited the catch. And the Commanders are actually going to go for it. They're like, fuck it, our offense hasn't been shit enough. Let's just go for it, hand it off to Brian Robinson, who's actually going to fight forward for maybe the first down. That is close. I don't know if he's going to get it or not. It's all about where that left knee and where the ball placement was here. That is close, though, about as close as you can get. They're going to credit them the first down, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a Cardinals challenge here. No, the Commanders are going to get the ball off. This is going to be a handoff up the middle to Brian Robinson, not really going anywhere. If this was real life, I'd say they're just trying to avoid the challenge, but let's see here. 2nd and 10 from the Cardinals' 14-yard line. They have trips left. Commanders are going to hand it off to the left. This is going to be a now cut towards the middle, but Brian Robinson is going to fight forward for that first down, and the Commanders have a 1st and goal at the Cardinals' 3-yard line. .26 seconds and taking in the 3rd quarter. Commanders have a 1st and goal here. This is going to be a pitch to the right to Brian Robinson, who's going to fight to try and get back to the line of scrimmage, but he can't even do that. He's going to end up losing 4 yards. That's going to be a tackle for loss by a whole mix of Cardinals. Looks like it's going to get credited to outside linebacker Dennis Gardeck. 2nd and goal at the 7-yard line. They're going to take it to the 4th quarter. The Commanders really just juiced that entire quarter of clock. That might be the longest drive we've seen in any of our games so far. Absolutely ridiculous amount of time they just cooked up. And this game is still 3-0. This is like watching a fucking... I don't know if we're watching football or if we're watching baseball right now. This has been a horrible game. Sam Howell's in the shotgun formation looking for a pass. He does have five receivers out there. This is going to be passed down the middle, intended for, I think that was Curtis Samuel. Intended for Curtis Samuel, but that's going to go nowhere. It's going to be 3rd and goal for the Commanders. A touchdown sets them up in a prime position to win this game. A field goal puts the Cardinals in position to win the game. Let's see what they end up doing, though. Trips left, 2 receivers on the right. Sam Howell's going to look for a pass. This is going to be intended to the left. That's going to be Jahan Dotson, who's going to catch it for the touchdown. That's going to be a huge touchdown for these Commanders. An overall bright play and an otherwise miserable game for these Commanders. Now he's flexing, and he's doing jumping jacks after getting 1 touchdown. Commanders on to attempt the extra point. Nobody had the Commanders kicker pretty much all season, I don't think. I could be mistaken, but I can't remember a time anybody actually started or picked up a Commanders kicker. Score is 7-3 now, kicking the ball off. Ball's going to land at the Cardinals end zone. They're going to return it to the right. He's going to cut back in towards the middle and get absolutely fucking body slammed by a mix of Commanders. That's probably the most entertaining play of the day. 1st and 10 from their own 17-yard line. A horrible kick return. Things aren't looking good for the Cardinals now. All the momentum is in the Commanders' favor. Let's see what the Cardinals do here. Hand off to James Conner up the middle. He's going to cut from the left to the right now. He's going to fight forward for about 3. He probably could have had a bit more if he chose that left side seam, but he ended up going to the right, and that really costed him a few yards. Overall, though, a pickup of 3 for Pussy. Let's see what the Cardinals do here. They got Josh Dobbs lined up in the shotgun with James Conner on his right. Looks like it's going to be a handoff to James Conner. He's going to hesitate and then go up the middle. He's going to pick up 2. 3rd and 5. Looks like they're trying to get James Conner more involved because I really don't think they trust Josh Dobbs in the slightest at this point. Let's see what the Cardinals do here. 3rd and 5 at their own 22. Looking for a pass. Looking down the middle. Looking down the middle still. He's just standing in place. Rolling out to the right. He is getting pressured hard. And that's going to be incomplete. He's just going to throw it out of bounds. The Commanders are still in a very prime position to win this game. Especially after this punt here. The Cardinals defense absolutely needs to step up. Even more than they have so far this game. They haven't looked good in this game, the defense, but the Commanders' offense has just been a shit show for most of the game. They finally started picking it up over that last drive. Even though that last drive took 12 business days, they still were able to get the touchdown at the end of it. So if they're able to just take their time, find the weaknesses of the Cardinals, and just pick it up, they should have no problem winning this game, which is exactly what they did in the last drive. Let's see if they can replicate that. 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. They also do have good field position here. There's going to be a handoff to the right to Brian Robinson, who's going to get a block against Budda Baker. He's going to pick up a very nice pickup. He's going to get about 15 yards on the play. Very, very nice run right there for Brian Robinson. All this just to go home and get shot again. Let's see what ends up happening. 1st and 10 at the Cardinals' 46-yard line, already only 10 yards out from field goal range. Commanders are going to hand it off to Brian Robinson to the right. He's not going to get very far, though. He'll pick up about 2, but that's about it. Getting ever so closer to field goal range. I think that's the Commanders' main priority. They realize the Cardinals cannot score points in this game. So a field goal should maybe not cement it, but drastically increase their odds of winning because of how bad the Cardinals have been. You have Sam Howell in the shotgun formation by himself, trips left, looking for a pass. Sam Howell is now looking to the right. That one's going to be caught by Curtis Samuel, who's going to fight forward for a first down plus an additional about 6 yards. So overall, the Commanders are now definitely in field goal range, so that's a very good start right there. The clock keeps rolling, and they do have the strong advantage on this game. Now they're lining up in the shotgun again. It looks like they're trying to run the exact same play, or they're just trying to switch it up a little bit, but let's see what ends up happening here. No, it's the same exact play. Sam Howell is now rolling out to the left. He's going to throw it towards the right again, trying to get that exact same play off, and they do. It's the exact same play, except this time it's going to be Jahan Dotson reeling it in. Or no, I'm sorry, Curtis Samuel. It's going to be Curtis Samuel reeling it in on the exact same play twice in a row. They're really starting to pick up on these Cardinals' weaknesses. They have the trips on the right side this time. Let's see if they do the same play. No, they're going to hand it off to Brian Robinson on the right. He's going to fight forward for an additional couple yards. He's going to get 4 for scrambled and wiggle-waggled. Overall, the big winners of this game have been scrambled and wiggle-waggled and dictatorship, I would say. Nobody else is really having a good game, though. It's going to be a handoff to Brian Robinson, who's going to fight forward for about 3 again. 3rd and 4 at the Cardinals' 7-yard line. Commanders are still juicing as much clock as physically possible. 2 minutes 55 remain. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. They're killing as much clock as they can here before snapping this ball. See what they end up doing. 3rd and 4. Going to look for a pass. Sam Howell is looking down the middle. He's now rolling to the right. He's avoiding a sack. He's going to fight forward. He's going to run for a touchdown. That's going to pretty much put the icing on the cake for this game unless Josh Dobbs can have a glass of wake the fuck up in the next drive because they're running out of time and they're now down 2 scores. 13-3 is the score. On to attempt the extra point again. The Commanders' offense has really picked things up in the second half of this game. They haven't looked perfect by any means, but they have really picked things up and have actually came together as an offense to learn the weaknesses of these Cardinals. I don't think this is going to work against some of those better defenses in the league, though, but for now, they're doing what they need to do to win, which is something they really didn't do in the first half. 14-3. Right here, it's going to be a kickoff to the left side of the Cardinals field. They're going to return it from the left towards the middle, and he's going to have another questionable return, to say the least. Going to get back to the 23-yard line, but not to the 25. Loses 2 yards, and it's going to kill a lot of time that they don't have. 2 minutes, 38 seconds on the clock. All 3 timeouts remain for both teams. In the shotgun formation, this is almost certainly going to be a pass. Josh Dobbs is going to look down the middle. He's going to throw it towards the left, and that's going to be incomplete, targeting Zach Ertz. Waste 3 seconds there, all for nothing. Cody Barton acting like he did something. Lining up in the shotgun without a running back in the backfield. Josh Dobbs going to look for a pass. He's looking down the middle. He is still looking down the middle. He's going to just pretty much throw it from the right side seam going towards the middle. That one's going to be caught by James Conner, who's going to pick up the first down. Very nice pickup there, and in an otherwise miserable game, a bright little play for Pussy. Worth a good 2 points right there. Josh Dobbs is going to look for another pass here. 15 seconds left before the 2-minute warning. Josh Dobbs is going to send a piss missile down the right side seam, and that's going to be caught for a very nice pickup there. That's going to be James Conner again. James Conner may as well just play wide receiver. James Conner is now putting together a very, very solid last-minute performance for Pussy here to really fix up his bad performance in this game. 2 minutes left in the game. At the Commanders' 49-yard line, Josh Dobbs lined up in the shotgun. James Conner on his left. Josh Dobbs is going to look for a pass here. He's going to throw it towards James Conner for the third time in a row. Who's going to be brought down by, I want to say that was Cody Barton again of MILF. After a pickup of 4. 1:45 remains. Both teams do have 3 timeouts. Overall, this has been a pretty solid game for James Conner of Pussy, especially from this drive. This is going to be passed to the left. This one's going to be broken up, though. That's going to be incomplete. 3rd and 4 for these Cardinals. Now, they don't necessarily need a touchdown here. A field goal could keep this game possible for them, but they need a 2-point conversion in that scenario. But they are running out of time very quickly, and their defense would have to make a crucial stop if they can't get the onside recovery. Josh Dobbs is getting pressured by Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, and Deron Payne. He's going to get this one thrown away. Now, it's technically a possible kick, but it would be very, very unlikely to see. Granted, they do have Matt Prater, but no, they're going to choose to go for it. 4th and 4. If they don't get this, the game is almost certainly over. The Commanders will pretty much clinch it. Cardinals are going to look for a pass. They're going to throw this one towards the right side. This one's going to be caught by James Conner again. James Conner has been their whole offense on this drive here. Maybe that's what the Cardinals have needed to do all along, is just tunnel vision James Conner on the passing game, because it really seems to be working in this specific game. 1st and 10. At the Commanders' 23, they're looking for a pass here. Josh Dobbs is going to roll out to the right. They're looking for James Conner again, who's going to get this one broken up by Jamin Davis of Toxic Zenpai. 2nd 10, 1:07 left. At the Commanders' 23-yard line. This game is looking very likely for the Commanders to win, but the Cardinals do still have a chance here. Josh Dobbs is rolling out to the left. Now he's standing in the middle. He's pushing back up towards the pocket. He's going to throw this one towards the right. That one's going to be incomplete. 3rd and 10. Wasting a lot of clock they don't have. Got 3rd and 10, 1 minute, 1 second left. They do have all 3 timeouts for what it's worth. But this is going to be a very hard and crucial 3rd down here. Let's see what they can do. Josh Dobbs is looking for the pass. Looking to the right. That one's going to be a jump ball. That one's going to be caught by Rondale Moore of Toxic Zenpai. A huge, huge touchdown last second in this game. Helping Rondale Moore, who's had a very quiet game. I think he only had 1 catch before that. But that's going to be a very crucial play right there for Toxic Zenpai. Let's see what ends up happening here. That keeps the Cardinals in it. Although it is still unlikely. It looks like they're going to go for 2. Try to make this a 1 field goal game. Let's see what the Cardinals end up doing here. Josh Dobbs is going to look for the pass. He's going to throw this one to the left. That's going to be at the fucking toenail of Marquise Brown. Score is 9-14. 56 seconds left. The Cardinals are probably going to try an onside kick. But let's see what they can end up doing here. It is extremely rare that bots recover onside kicks. I've only seen it happen once. But let's see here. And no, that's just going to be the Commanders who are going to get it right off the bat. The Cardinals absolutely need to get a stop on this very first. They need to get a 3-and-out here. This game is pretty much over. And they need the Commanders to pretty much miss their field goal, which from here would be a probable miss, but you can only assume the Commanders are going to try to push forward for a few yards to make the field goal possible. But we will see. 54 seconds remain. They do have all 3 timeouts. Giving up a 1st down is a death sentence at this point if you are a Cardinals fan. Let's see what happens here. 1st and 10. Looks like they're going to choose Brian Robinson to be their back in the situation. They're going to hand it off to the left. He's going to fight forward, and he's going to get the 1st down right off the fucking bat. The Cardinals are just selling. They only have 2 timeouts remaining, which they still technically could be in this game if they force all the stops right here, but they absolutely need to force the stops. Brian Robinson's going to go backwards. Now he's going to fight forward towards the line of scrimmage, but he's still going to lose too. 2nd and 12 at the 31-yard line. This one's going to be a handoff to the right for Brian Robinson. He's going to be tackled for a loss by Buda Baker, my player. Looks like they're going to take the kneel-down formation. This is going to be the end of the game pretty much. It's not going to, well, maybe. I think the Commanders are going to end up kicking the field goal to end the game, kind of like we saw at the earlier point in the season. But it's not like they're trolling like the other team was. I think it was the Ravens against the Texans that did that. In this situation, the Commanders are just going to kick the field goal as the clock gets down to a few seconds just because they don't have that extra second to end the game. Let's see what they end up doing just to see how good the kicker is for the Commanders. The kick is up. And it is good. The Commanders are going to win this game 17-9. Just to pad the stats just a little bit, this has been an absolute shit show of a game, but overall, final score 17-9. The Commanders are going to win this one. You had Josh Dobbs going 12 for 27, 157 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. A horrible completion percentage for both these quarterbacks. Sam Howell going 9 for 18, 111 yards, 1 touchdown. Just a very, very shit performance. Brian Robinson went 21 for 83. He had 2 or 3 really good runs. Outside of that, he really struggled in this game. You had James Conner go 7 for 26. He didn't really do too much on the run game, but he didn't do horrible. Sam Howell had 5 for 25, scrambling, and he also had a touchdown. Josh Dobbs had a run for 7 yards. Antonio Gibson had a whole run for a yard. In terms of the receiving, James Conner went 7 for 74, really having a nice receiving game for Pussy. You had Curtis Samuel go 3 for 57. Brian Robinson 2 for 16. You had John Bates go 2 for 26. Rondale Moore 2 for 47, and he had that clutch touchdown for Toxic Zenpai. Marquise Brown had a catch for 7. Logan Thomas had a catch for 5. Jahan Dotson had a 7-yard touchdown. Then you had Zach Pascal had a nice pickup for 24. And then Zach Ertz only had a catch for 5. Then in terms of the defense, you had Zaven Collins leading the Cardinals with 9 total tackles on the game. You had 2 tackles for loss. Jalen Thompson had 8 tackles on the game. Montez Sweat had 4 with 3 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. Very nice performance out of him. Kaiser White was very good as well with 8 tackles on the game, 4 tackles for loss, a sack and a half. Very good performance from Kaiser White. Cody Barton of MILF had a pretty solid game there with 7 total tackles on the game and a pass deflect on top. You had Derek Forrest with 5 tackles and a pass deflect. Kendall Fuller had 2 tackles. Jartavius Martin had 4 tackles. You had B.J. Ojulari, the rookie for the Cardinals, who ended up having 3 tackles on the game, which ended up leading to 3 tackles for loss. Nonetheless, a very solid first game of the season for him. Buda Baker had 2 tackles solo, 2 tackle assists, and a tackle for loss. Not his best game, but overall it's a pretty solid game. I'm content with that one. As a Buda Baker owner, Benjamin St. Juste is going to end up getting 2 tackles on the game, 4 tackles on the game for Garrett Williams. You have a 4-tackle game for Dennis Gardeck, including 2 tackles for loss. Emmanuel Forbes, the rookie, ended up getting 1 whole tackle on the game. Majay Sanders had 3 tackles on the game. Carlos Watkins had 2 assists. Jonathan Allen had an assist. Dijon Harris had an assist. You had Cato Clark have a tackle assist. A whole bunch of players with assists, to say the least. I'm trying to just kind of scroll down until there's something important. LJ Collier had a tackle for loss and a half sack on the game. You had Jamin Davis of Toxic Zenpai, who had 3 tackle assists and a pass deflect. Overall, bad game for him. He didn't really do too much. Cameron Curl of Toxic Zenpai didn't do too much better. He had 4 tackle assists. Marco Wilson had 2 tackle assists. Rashad Fenton had 2 tackle assists. He sold me fentanyl. Christian Matthew had 3 tackle assists. And then Donamy Brown had a tackle assist. Overall, I don't think Daron Payne of Scrambled and Wiggle Waggle did anything in this entire game, surprisingly enough. Yeah, he really didn't. This probably would have been one of the more keen opportunities for him to do so, but in this specific game, he didn't. So that's not a great performance for Scrambled and Wiggle Waggle, but at least he had Brian Robinson kind of step up. Then on top of that, in terms of the kick returns, you had Antonio Gibson getting 42 return yards for Big Yawners, and Jeremy Reeves, who ended up getting 6 return yards as well for both Big Yawners and Rictatorship for these returns. And then on the punt return, you had Antonio Gibson get an additional 12. Outside of that, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys later. We'll record the next video whenever I get the chance to. I think I'll be able to record at least one more tomorrow. I might be able to get one off tonight. We will just have to